Why are we in this war? I don't know, dude. Let's do it. Okay.
Mach du Leben!
Scenes like this were often replayed in the minds of early modernists. Modernism was a movement that spanned from the early 20th century up until the present, with early modernism being after World War I but before World War II. Early modernists were disillusioned with the events that occurred during World War I, such as the scene that you've seen here. They valued symbolism, irony, and often understated the facts. They placed a great burden on the reader in order for him to better understand their true meaning of the writing. Early modernists also doubted the morality of Western civilization and believed that materialism was corrupting America.
What passing bells for these who die as cattle? Only the monstrous anger of the guns, only the shuddering rifles' rapid rattle can putter out their hasty horizons. No mockeries for them, no prayers nor bells, nor any voice of mourning save the choirs, the shrill, demented choirs of wailing shells, and bugles calling for them from sad shires. What candles may be held to speed them all? Not in the hands of boys, but in their eyes, shall shine the holy glimmers of goodbyes. The pallor of girls' brows shall be their pall, their flowers, the tenderness of patient minds, in each slow dusk a drawing down of blinds. Anthem for Doomed Youth, September to October 1917, by Wilfred Owen.
One of the best examples of early modernist writing is Ernest Hemingway in his book The Sun Also Rises, which is set in post-World War I, and it revolves around the life of Jake Barnes. Jake and his crew of friends are lost in their lives, especially after the war, which destroyed all that they had ever known and cherished. Now let us look at a scene in which Jake drinks with one of his buddies.
Aren't you happy, dude? We just survived World War I.
Of course I'm not happy. Give me another drink.
We're in Paris. What more could you want?
I'll tell you what I want. I want meaning in my life. You don't know what I lost in the war. Out of the famous early modernist writers, such as F. Scott Fitzgerald, T.S. Eliot, and others, Ernest Hemingway stands out as the most proficient in his craft. Another example of early modernist philosophical views comes again from Hemingway's novel, The Sun Also Rises.
In The Sun Also Rises, the character of the bullfighter, Pedro Romero, symbolizes the hope and prosperity found in the pre-World War I era, and that is no longer found in the lives of Jake Barnes and his friends. This is an example of the pessimistic view that the early modernists had.
The actual bullfighting itself can be interpreted as a symbol of the destructiveness of sex, a recurring theme in the novel. The diction used by Hemingway in the description of the bullfighting scenes leads the reader to believe that the bullfight is an act of seduction, and that by killing the bull, seduction and in turn sexuality are destructive. This particular view emphasized the disbelief in idealism that the early modernists had.
Oh! Hi.
Another example of early modernist writing comes from F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby. The novel portrayed the life of decadence that many people in America led after the events of World War I. In the course of the story of The Great Gatsby, when Nick, Jordan, and Tom drive through the Valley of Ashes, they discover that Gatsby's car has struck and killed Myrtle, who is Tom's lover. They rush back to Long Island, where Nick learns from Gatsby that Daisy was driving the car when it struck Myrtle, but that Gatsby intends to take the blame. The next day, Tom tells Myrtle's husband, George, that Gatsby was the driver of the car. George, who has leapt to the conclusion that the driver of the car that killed Myrtle must have been her lover, finds Gatsby in the pool at his mansion and shoots him dead. Then he finally shoots himself.
Nick stages a small funeral for Gatsby, ends his relationship with Jordan, and moves back to the Midwest to escape the disgust he feels for the people surrounding Gatsby's life, and for the emptiness and moral decay of life among the wealthy on the East Coast. Nick reflects that just as Gatsby's dream of Daisy was corrupted by money and dishonesty, the American dream of happiness and individualism has disintegrated into the mere pursuit of wealth. Though Gatsby's power to transform his dream into reality is what makes him great, Nick reflects that the era of dreaming, both Gatsby's dream and the American dream, is over.
Throughout history, the literary movement of Romanticism has had a loyal following. However, the early modernist literary movement, much like the Gothic and realist literary movements, rejected Romanticism. They believed that the world was a cruel and often ironic setting that did not ever have the happy endings idolized by romantics. Furthermore, early modernists did not believe in rationalism and idealism, because the world was not an idyllic or rational place in their eyes.
Floating down a river, oars freed from their holes long ago.